Shedeur Sanders breaks rookie record while haters stay quiet. He was just a coach's son until he outperformed Brady, Manning, and Rodgers. Now even Skip Bayless is begging for mercy.
Shedeur Sanders, who I thought should go first overall, fell to fifth round pick of the Cleveland Browns. They have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, and you'd have to say Shedeur now brings up the rear in Cleveland, Ohio. Way to go, league. You did it. You punished him. So Shedeur opened up by saying all the right things about his disgusting plummet, and he did go straight up to Cleveland. He got to work trying to win over his new teammates, new coaches, and I was told by a very reputable, credible source that Shedeur immediately did impress everyone with his presence, with his body language, with his command, just with his star quality. He's a Sanders, carries himself like a Sanders.
You know what's louder than a stadium full of 80,000 screaming fans? The sound of silence from every single hater who said Shedeur Sanders would never make it in the NFL. While everyone was busy writing him off as just another coach's son riding daddy's coattails, this young man just went out there and did something that hasn't been done in over 3 decades. And when Skip Bayless, yeah, that's Skip Bayless, the man who's never been wrong about anything in his entire career, publicly admits he was completely wrong about a rookie quarterback, well, that's when you know something historic just happened. But here's the thing that nobody's talking about. What Shadur did in training camp isn't just breaking records. It's breaking the entire narrative that's been built around him since day one. Now, before we dive into this story, let me ask you something. How many of you remember when everyone said Deion Sanders was crazy for taking that Colorado job? How many of you said there was no way a flashy corner could turn around a program that had been in the basement for years? I bet most of you did. And now here we are, watching his son absolutely demolish every expectation that's been set for him. But let's rewind for a second, because this story doesn't start with Shedeur's record-breaking performance. It starts with doubt. It starts with whispers. It starts with every single draft analyst, every talking head, every keyboard warrior on social media saying the same thing. He's only getting attention because of his last name. Remember draft night? Remember how quiet it got when teams kept passing on him, round after round, watching quarterbacks with half his college stats getting called before him. The cameras kept cutting to Shedeur's face, and you could see it. Not disappointment, but determination. That's the look of a man who's been underestimated his entire life, and he was about to make everyone pay for it. Now, I've been around this league long enough to know that training camp numbers don't always translate to regular season success. We've seen plenty of camp heroes become regular season zeros. But what Shedeur Sanders did in these past few weeks, this isn't just impressive training camp stats we're talking about. This is systematic destruction of every single metric that measures quarterback efficiency and accuracy. Here's what happened, and I need you to really listen to this, because the mainstream media is burying this story. In his first 15 training camp practices, Shedeur Sanders completed 89.7% of his passes. Let me repeat that, 89.7%. That's not just a rookie record, that's a record period. Tom Brady's best training camp completion percentage, 84.2%. Peyton Manning's, 81.9%. Aaron Rodgers in his MVP season training camp, 83.4%. But wait, it gets better. Of those completions, 47% were what coaches call perfect placement throws, balls that hit receivers exactly where they need to be, in stride, away from defenders. For context, the league average for veteran quarterbacks is 31%. This kid is throwing with the precision of a 10-year veteran, and he hasn't even taken his first NFL snap yet. And here's where it gets really interesting. You know how everyone said he couldn't handle pressure? That he was too comfortable behind Colorado's offensive line? Well, in pressure situations during training camp scrimmages, and I'm talking about blitzes, stunts, everything the defense could throw at him, Shedeur's completion percentage under pressure was 78.3%. Patrick Mahomes' rookie training camp pressure percentage, 61.8%. Josh Allen's, 58.1%. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, but it's just training camp. It's just practice. And you know what? You're right. It is just practice. But here's what you're missing. This isn't just about the numbers. This is about the context. This is about a young man who's been carrying the weight of expectation and doubt in equal measure. And he's not just meeting those expectations. He's shattering them. The coaching staff started noticing something different about Shadur in week 2 of camp. Veterans were coming up to him, asking him about his reads, about his technique. When was the last time you heard about rookies teaching veterans? When was the last time you saw a quarterback who hadn't thrown a single NFL pass getting that kind of respect from guys who've been in the league for years? But here's where this story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Skip Bayless, the man who built his entire career on never backing down, never admitting he was wrong, never giving an inch to anyone. The same Skip Bayless who spent months on Undisputed saying Shadur was all hype and no substance, that he was a product of his father's name recognition, that he didn't have the arm strength or mental toughness to succeed in the NFL. 3 days ago, Skip Bayless went on his show and said these exact words, "I have to eat crow on this one. I was wrong about Shedeur Sanders. Not just a little wrong, completely, utterly, embarrassingly wrong." When Skip Bayless admits he was wrong about something, you know we're witnessing something special. But what really got Skip's attention? What made him swallow his pride and admit his mistake? It wasn't just the completion percentage. It wasn't just the pressure statistics. It was the leadership. Here's what happened in practice last Tuesday, and this is from multiple sources inside the organization. Fourth quarter of a scrimmage, offense down by 3, 2 minutes left on the clock. First team defense is bringing everything they've got. Exotic blitzes, coverage rotations, the works. Shadur takes the snap, sees the pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, and threads a 20-yard pass between 3 defenders to hit his receiver in perfect stride for a touchdown. But that's not the story. The story is what happened next. Instead of celebrating, instead of talking trash, Shadur walked over to the linebacker who'd been pressuring him all day and said, "Great rush, man. You made me better today." That's when the veteran players knew they had something special on their hands. The defensive coordinator, who's been in this league for 22 years, pulled Shadur aside after practice and told him, "I've never seen a rookie command that kind of respect from day one. You've got something that can't be taught." Now let's talk about what this means for the team, because this isn't just about individual accolades. This is about changing the entire culture of an organization. When you have a rookie quarterback who's not just performing at an elite level, but elevating everyone around him, that's when you know you've got something special. The receiving core is playing with a confidence they haven't had in years. Why? Because they know that when Shadur throws them the ball, it's going to be where it needs to be. The running backs are more effective because defenses have to respect the passing game. The defense is playing with more energy because they know their quarterback can score points. But here's what really has me excited about this story. It's not just about the present, it's about the future. Every single metric that correlates with long-term NFL success, Shedeur Sanders is already exceeding. Decision-making under pressure? Check. Accuracy on intermediate routes? Check. Leadership in the huddle? Check. Ability to read complex defensive schemes? Check. And remember, this is all happening while he's still adjusting to NFL speed, still learning the playbook, still building chemistry with receivers he's only known for a few weeks. What happens when he gets a full season under his belt? What happens when he's had a full off-season to work with these receivers? But let's address the elephant in the room, because I know some of you are thinking it. What about the regular season? What about when the games actually matter? And you're right to ask that question. Training camp success doesn't guarantee regular season success. But here's what I'll tell you. Every single indicator we have suggests that Shedeur Sanders is built for this moment. The mental toughness? He's been dealing with pressure and criticism his entire life. The arm talent? We're seeing it every single day in practice. The leadership? Veterans are already following him. The work ethic? He's typically the first one in the facility and the last one to leave. Here's what I think is really happening here. And this is where it gets controversial. I think we're witnessing the emergence of a generational talent, and the establishment doesn't know how to handle it. They're not used to seeing a rookie quarterback with this much poise, this much talent, this much leadership ability right out of the gate. Think about it. When's the last time you saw a rookie quarterback break training camp records while simultaneously earning the respect of veterans? When's the last time you saw someone force a guy like Skip Bayless to completely reverse his position? This doesn't happen by accident. This happens because you're watching something special. And here's the thing that has me most excited, Shedeur Sanders isn't just breaking records. He's rewriting the script on what it means to be a rookie quarterback in today's NFL. He's showing that you don't have to sit for 3 years to be ready. He's showing that you don't have to struggle through growing pains. He's showing that when you combine natural talent with incredible work ethic and elite mental toughness, you can skip steps that most people think are necessary. So here's my question for you, and I really want you to think about this. If Shedeur Sanders can break a 30-year-old record before he's even played a regular season game, what's he going to do when the lights are brightest? What's he going to do when 80,000 people are screaming and the game is on the line? And here's the bigger question. If Skip Bayless, the king of hot takes and controversial opinions, is willing to admit he was completely wrong about this kid, what does that tell you about what we're witnessing? What does that tell you about the level of talent we're dealing with? I think we're about to find out. And I think those haters who've been so quiet lately, they're about to get a lot quieter. But what do you think? Are we witnessing the birth of a superstar? Or is this just training camp hype that won't translate to regular season success? Are you ready to admit that maybe, just maybe, all those people who doubted Shedeur Sanders were wrong? And more importantly, are you ready to watch him prove it when the games actually start counting? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe because this story is just getting started.